Hi there, Russell Stratton, President and Leadership Champion with Blue Gem Learning. I work with organisations just like yours to help managers improve staff engagement and to increase individual and team performance. And one of the things I've been talking about over the last couple of vlogs are the value cards that my colleague Ken Cameron designed that helps you understand which values drive your employees, which values drive your teams, and be able to leverage these to build motivation, to build engagement, to improve individual and team results, as I say earlier. And my work a lot as a operational manager when I manage a number of teams, and also as a consultant working with a variety of organizations and team leaders within there. The concept of team and the values around team were particularly important to me. And I talked about two others in previous vlogs around transparency and about trust. And really came to the third value that I'd chosen, which was around candid dialogue. And as I was saying in the previous vlog, one of the things that I always felt was important when managing my own teams is to make sure that I was as honest with people as I could be, that I was open with them, and if necessary, we would have those difficult and challenging conversations. And that cut both ways, not just, me having a conversation with them, but there may be something that they need to tell me, and that we would have that. And the trust was there that this was not going to, break the motivation or break the team spirit that we had, but actually would strengthen it. And where a lot of this had come from, and my sort of understanding around that need for candid dialogue goes back many years ago when I was a fairly junior staff member when I worked for the UK Customs Service, and at the time was seconded to a team, one of the investigation teams, for a short period of time, that was led by a guy who I'll call Mo. Now Mo was probably not what would have been conventionally be looked at as a team leader. A leadership style many people felt outside the team was quite rough around the edges. He was a Cockney from London. Was very straight in his talking, and to be honest, there were a fair number of expletives that would come out from his conversations with you. Sometimes felt that he perhaps would have fitted in well in perhaps one of Guy Ritchie's movies. So the particular example I had in mind around candid dialogue was a time when I had not been with the team very long. There had been a surveillance operation the night before that I personally hadn't been involved in, but one of the just sort of team leaders that worked for Mo had been in charge of this. And as to cut a long story short, what had occurred is that the suspect had they'd lost contact with the suspect, and the surveillance operation had been blown. As you can imagine, these are fairly time-consuming and costly exercises that take place. Many people there, lots of moving parts. And what had basically happened is that a newer and less experienced member of the team had been given the job of watching the back entrance to this nightclub that was under surveillance. But when briefed in by the team leader, they basically hadn't told the individual what the suspect looked like. All they'd said is watch the back door. Well, imagine a back door in a nightclub at 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a fair number of people coming in and out for various reasons. And he was there and had no idea who he was supposed to be looking for, was fairly junior and hadn't thought to ask because, didn't think. And as a result, the person had come out, got in the car, driven off, and later in the evening realised that they'd lost contact with this particular suspect. So the team leader wasn't too happy, and as you can imagine, Mo, as the manager of the whole investigation team, was not pleased. So I came in the next day where the team leader is in Mo's office, basically getting chewed out by him. A vigorous debriefing is taking place where, in no uncertain terms, the team leader is being it's explained by Mo why he's not happy with them and what had gone wrong. Came out, you could hear this, there were a fair amount of expletives throwing around, and he came out not looking too happy, and gone back to his workstation. And a bit later, sort of, everything okay? And he was, yeah, fine. But when we unpick this a little bit in terms of now, talking about this 25 years later, you think, oh, that was terrible. He'd sort of not been very nice to this guy about what had gone on. You had to sort of understand the dynamic in the team and also understand Mo as a person and this concept around candid dialogue, because two things came out from this. Actually three. The first is that Mo expected you to push back towards him as much as he pushed on you. If you hadn't done something that he expected you to do, he would tell you in no uncertain terms. But he also expected that you would tell him if you felt there was something that he hadn't done. And certainly the more experienced members of his team would do that. Okay. Secondly, in a situation like this with the team leader being sort of chewed out by Mo, it stopped there. He wasn't a guy who was going to, be nice to your face and then not write you up in your, staff appraisal report at the end. If he had something to say to you, he would say it to you there and then. You might not like what he said, but the matter, as far as he was concerned, as long as you learned for it, didn't make the same mistake again, was over, and it wasn't something he held against you, and he certainly didn't hold any grudges with people. So that was the second thing. And the third thing is that Mo would insulate his team from criticism from above. So, unlike a number of managers that I've worked with over the years, that if things went well, they would take the credit. And if things went badly, they would look for somebody to blame in their team, even if it meant offering them up as a sort of sacrifice to sort of senior management. Mo was the complete opposite. If things went well, credit was given to the individuals in the team who had done that work, that particular job, made that arrest. They were given the credit. If things didn't go well, for example, like that surveillance exercise, yes, he told the team leader in no uncertain terms what was wrong. But when his boss wanted to know what the problem was and who was to blame, he said, it's my team, the mistake was mine. And no matter how much prompting he was given, how much, cajoling, or who was it who made the mistake, he wasn't going to offer up one of his team. He was very fiercely protective of his team and always said that the accountability sat with him, and he was never going to, sell out somebody for the sake of his own reputation with those people higher up in the organization. So that's what I always found was interesting with him about this idea of candid dialogue, and this rough diamond was actually somebody who cared greatly for his team and the people that worked for him. He wanted them to do good work. He wanted the team to be successful, but he always gave praise where it was necessary and credit where it was due. He was prepared to call you out if you did something wrong, but we expected the same in return, and he would never hold a grudge against people within his team. So that's why candid dialogue was something that was important to me and something that I took forward into work with my teams over the years. So again, if the concept around examining values and stories around why these values are important, something that interests you, why not join Ken and I on our latest live online Lunch and Learn on July 15th, when we're going to be using the Shift card deck to look at values and how they can be used to motivate our teams. Okay. Session starts at 12:30. Tickets are a COVID-19 special of only $19. So for that price, why not invite one of your co-workers or perhaps even your boss? If you'd like to do that, click on the link below and we'll see you on the other side.